So I talked about the fight card. Check out my previous video. But I also have to talk about the news. So first of all, Jalen Turner made weight. I said that's going to be the biggest challenge for him. Not the fight itself, but him just making weight on short notice. You know, he took this fight on a week notice. And when he had a full camp, he missed weight versus Dan Hooker just by, comparison. So the fact that he made weight, yeah, sure, it was a second time. First he weighed 157, then he weighed 156, which is the limit for a non-championship fight at lightweight. So yeah, kudos to him, man. That took a lot of effort. I'm sure that was difficult. He's a really big guy. He's massive. I mean, you can check it out right now. The comparison once they did the face-off at the ceremonial weigh-ins versus Bobby Green. I mean, they look really like they're two different weight classes. So I'm not sure how long will he pursue that run at lightweight, in all honesty. I really think he should be fighting at welterweight. Maybe not middleweight, but welterweight. I think that's pretty fair for him to fight at welterweight. And it's going to be easier for him. He's not going to kill himself cutting weight. So, I mean, let's put it this way. I think if he loses this fight, which, by the way, I think he's a favorite. I think he's going to beat Bobby Green in this fight. If he does lose, there is a high probability that we'll see him again at welterweight. I think that's how it will play out. But in other news, there was a hotel altercation, speaking of Bobby Green, between him and Arman Tsaryukan, the Armenian-Georgian guy, who's the main event, by the way, who's fighting Darush for pretty much the top contendership spots, right? They're in the top 5 now. He's fighting for top 5, probably. So he got in a hotel altercation. First, I think it was one of his crew members that got into it. Now, I don't know who started. I don't have the evidence. Is it Bobby Green who started it? Or was it his teammate? Or it was Arman's team that started it? But it seems like in both cases, there was like 2 altercations from my understanding, that Bobby was outnumbered for some reason. I don't know where his crew is. Maybe he didn't come with a crew. Maybe he's just with a coach. Maybe I'm not sure. But it seems like Arman is surrounded by at least 5-6 guys. And from the one video clip where I see Arman approached him and he got into his face. I mean, you don't just go into somebody's face and say, you're talking shit about me. That's already starting a conflict, right? So like Bobby pushed him away. He got really, really close. And by the way, he's surrounded. It's a threat. It really reminded me of the situation with Khabib and his crew surrounding and Khabib slapping Artem Lobo. But I mean, come on, guys. Bobby Green has no Artem Lobo. He's going to fight back, So, I mean, he's gangster. I love him. Even though he's gangster, he's a very likable guy. Maybe I'm biased. He's my SoCal dude here, very close from San Bernardino. But I like Bobby Green. I don't know. I like his whole shtick. It makes sense, and he's at this high-end tail of his career, and he's making more money than ever, and he's entertaining. I love it. I love everything about it. And he stood up for himself. He pushed himself. And then Arman reached out by the throat, pushed him kind of, pushed, but he grabbed him quickly and pushed him on the throat. So, I don't know. I don't like Artem's action here. Not Artem, sorry. Arman Tsaryukan. I talked about Artem Lobov. But yeah, he seems like a punk. I don't know. And he has that kind of face where he's trying to be nice, but he's actually a punk. So not a very likable guy, in my opinion. I don't know. I'm standing with Bobby here, even though I'm not sure exactly who started it. But it looks like he was outnumbered the whole time. I don't think Bobby Green started it. But anyways, that's the news as far as the main event. Quite interesting. Honestly, I wish there was an embedded here in this whole story. If there was an embedded, even though we don't have a championship fight, I think this is pay-per-view material right here. We got so many things going on this week. And I'm happy that most of the fights, there's only one fight that got canceled, and that's due to illness on one of the prelim fighters. But the main event is happening. Everybody made weight, including Jalen Turner, which we always saw the press conference as well. Check out the press conference. He was giving us red flags all over the place. Like, I had no choice but to take this fight. And he looked pretty big, and we all thought like, oh man, this is like, it smells like he's already given excuses why he's missing weight. But no, he was a professional. He made weight. It was tough, apparently, but he made it. That's what counts at the end of the day. He's going to show up to the job. He's going to get the full purse, and kudos to him. I'm still taking all the picks that I had previously made in the video from last week. I'm still sticking to those picks. And we'll see how I can't wait for tomorrow. Yeah, it's going to happen tomorrow. What I also wanted to talk about is there's a guy that grew so much in popularity quickly. And he was a champion at one point, but he had to relinquish the belt. And his name is Jamahal Hill. Including myself, I really liked him. I became a fan of Jamahal Hill. But recently, man, I don't know what happened, but I mean, I know what happened. He showed up at the fight, right? He was in the front row for the fight of the championship fight between Alex Pereira and Jiri Prochazka. So he didn't really, Alex Pereira kind of already knew. He didn't talk about it. He talked about Israel Adesanya. He didn't really call out much Jamahal Hill. He doesn't have anything against him, and I guess they're going to fight. I mean, Jamahal Hill just needs to fully recover from his Achilles tear. He had a really bad injury, right? The Achilles. It's a bad injury, so I hope he fully recovers. And but the thing is, a lot of fans started saying, like, you know, like, he's got a little too cocky. His reaction was not the best. And I do agree to a certain extent. And he kind of proved the point by his reaction. Yeah, he went on to Twitter and he started just smearing all the fans. His fans and the people that hated him, didn't hate him, started responding to everybody and with just in a very distasteful manner, saying like, hey, you know what, you guys, I accomplished what none of you guys ever accomplished or will accomplish in your life. Like, I'm already doing way better than all of you. But it sounds like a very cocky statement, in my opinion. I mean, sure, you're a fighter, you became a champion, kudos to you. But let's not forget, you're still a cage fighter, you know. You're not an NBA, NFL, soccer champion. You know, this is also not the pinnacle of sports. With all due respect, I'm a fan. But, you know, you came quickly to stardom. But you're not really truly a household name. You're not really as big of a star as the other guys, you know. You didn't get a chance to even defend the title, you know. And then he said, I made millions in the past 3 years. I doubt that he made millions. Maybe he did. I mean, good for him, right? I'm not denying that. I mean, he did made a huge success. But there's also people, you know, who are MMA fans. I'm not saying every MMA fan is, like, super successful, but it's, you know, I don't know. I find it very distasteful. I'm not taking it personal. I don't give a damn. But to people disliking it, and I understand. He comes off as really cocky, very condescending to everybody, like, oh, we're all losers and you're a winner. Okay, buddy, but you know, there's also doctors, there's also surgeons, there's also engineers, you know, astronauts who are very successful and probably make more money than you. And you got to understand also that your career is short-lived as a fighter. And by the way, you also suffered an injury, you know, so coming from you is kind of weird. You already suffered one heavy injury. You might never come back. You might never be the same fighter you were. And there goes your paycheck, you know? But somebody can work until fucking 60 as an engineer, as a doctor, even less, and make way more money than you, you know? Not all MMA fans are just losers in their basement than you think, right? I mean, it's just super weird. So he got a lot of haters. He lost a lot of fans, and for a good reason. Just because people said, oh, you're too arrogant, you're too cocky. Sure, but did you have to react that way? I think that was a very bad move. I was subscribed to his channel. I had nothing but praise for him. I even took his side versus Ariel Helwani. I think Ariel did what Ariel does, and I actually trusted, and I still stand by Jamahal Hill and what he did on his channel. And he's all his clips and videos, he did a podcast and his reviews. Because he was injured, he couldn't train as much. Now, there's also news that came up, but I don't care about this as much, really. I'm not going to take that up against him. But yes, he did end up in a domestic violence case. No, he did not beat his wife or kids. That's how it usually sounds when you present it that way. TMZ that reported that way. But he apparently got in a fight with his own brother. It's a little ugly. It's a family matter, but, you know, he's in the spotlight. It's going to be reported. So I'm not going to hold that against him. Like I said, I'm a John Jones fan. It would be very hypocritical of me to say, oh, now you're going down that route. But it just reminded me how he rose to such a certain level. I feel like he can still get back a lot of fans. But I don't know. I don't like how he reacted to your regular fans. Even people who messaged him on Twitter publicly and said, hey, bro, don't put us all in the same basket. You know, we're still your fans. We think you are the favorite. You don't have to put all the haters and your fans in the same. That's what he did. He put his biggest haters and the fans and everybody. He said, "F you all. I'm better than all of you. You guys suck. What I achieved, you will never achieve in your life. You never did, and you never will." Very condescending, very distasteful, unnecessary. First of all, and at the same time, I know for a fact, you had like a super chat. You were only responding to people on YouTube, on your channel, as a live reaction to a fight, and I think there was a live stream. And in order to do a super chat, you had to pay money. So, and there's like $5 to $10, $15 donos, which you're counting on. Those are your fans. They're giving you that money, and you need the fans. You know what I mean? It's not just you winning the fights. You need the fans. You need to be popular. You need people to tune into your fights for the pay-per-view. And by the way, the reason why I think he didn't make millions is because he never got to defend his belt. He didn't even get pay-per-view points. I doubt that he made millions just from, on his title run, being on his title run, winning a few fights in the past few years and getting that fight, championship fight, and winning the fight. Sure, he made a lot of money, but I don't think it's millions. I'm pretty sure it's hundreds of thousands of dollars overall, but millions, I don't see it. Either way, I still think he's a great fighter, and he still can be a champion once again. Let me know your guys' thoughts, and let me know how excited you are for tomorrow if you get a chance to see this video. But also, comment on Jamahal Hill. Give me a like for the algorithm if you like it, and subscribe to Dr. Cage MMA. I'll see you in the next one.